we gathered to welcome this valued guest. 6 weeks had passed since his last visit, and he arrived carrying a Bible small enough to fit in his saddlebag. As the traveling preacher read the scriptures, a Methodist worship service began in far eastern Oklahoma in 1842. We, the people of God, gathered in the open air, beside the river, a sacred place for baptisms and shared meals. He was a Native American preacher, and we were a Native American congregation. In later months, vines and branches would be woven for a brush arbor to shelter worshipers. But not for this early gathering. This church was just beginning to sprout life. In the early 1800s, long before Oklahoma became a state, new churches were being planted, Native American Methodist churches, in the geographic region designated as Indian Territory. We ministered among the tribes, embracing the call to make disciples, because that's what the people of God do. We produced the first fruits of what is now the Oklahoma area of the United Methodist Church, composed today of the Oklahoma Indian Missionary Conference and the Oklahoma Conference. Our official birthday is October 23rd, 1844. On that day, the first annual meeting opened for the Indian Mission Conference, the mother church of this Episcopal area. Today in the Oklahoma area, some churches still use tribal languages.
Tuluwa Louis at Ikbitok, Chihuahua at Ishayupas Chaski,
As we have grown, other languages are being used. The good news is now preached in Korean.
내 영혼아 여호와를 송축하라. 내 속에 있는
Spanish,
것들아
Bendice al Señor,
그 성원을
alma mía,
송축하라.
alaba todo mi Señor su santo.
Chinese,
我的心呐，你要称颂耶和华，凡在我里面的也要。
as well as English.
Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his holy name.
We, the people of God, are ethnically diverse, but we are woven together as sowers of the word. We both have significant stories to tell. Stories about today's new church plants. The Oklahoma Conference People of God are nurturing new congregations in the center of the state. Cross Timbers, planted in 2009, reported 47 professions of faith in its first year.
Every week people are inviting people to church.
Connect and Summit launched in 2010.
This new church has changed my life. It makes me think more about my church and inviting other people to church.
A Chinese fellowship is growing with the leadership of an Oklahoma Conference clergy member and native of China who became a Christian through the Oklahoma United Methodist Campus Ministry. In the Oklahoma Indian Missionary Conference, whose borders extend beyond the state, 6 new fellowships have been created and a new church chartered in the past 5 years. In the southeastern corner of Oklahoma, the new Chihuahua Oklahoma United Methodist Church received a donation of land last year from the Choctaw tribe. The newest fellowship is in Kansas City, Missouri. Other recent church planting efforts continue to weave and connect the 2 Oklahoma conferences. The closed Glenpool Church was renovated as members of both conferences worked side by side. Deeded from the Oklahoma Conference to the OIMC, the old building now houses a new fellowship. In a similar effort, Bryan Chapel was returned to primary service among Native American people. Today, buildings replace riverbanks as places of worship. The Oklahoma Conference holds its annual session in historic sanctuaries. However, the Oklahoma Indian Missionary Conference annually meets in an outdoor setting, beneath an open-air tabernacle. A parade of flags opens the session, with the Christian flag leading the way, reminding all that today's ministries are interlinked with long-ago Methodist people of God. May God continue to weave us together, transforming us into more faithful and effective disciples to God's glory.